go. Just save here. Once more. Where am I saving? Over here? Yeah, over here. Again, I still have this drink, by the way. It's in my pocket. Does it matter? Is it? I don't know. I was thinking. I feel like the game was hinting towards us giving her a drink, but I don't know if it matters. Here, have a drink. Huh. Actually did it, eh? Well, you scored a point, but don't think I don't have enough cuties around who can handle that. You got more important things to be doing. Gotta move on. I'm being honest, Jess, like her personality, I kind of don't like, but she does look cute. Anyway, leave. So actually, yeah, there's like Easter egg there. We give her actual truth. We got 1 point, 1 point in the social link. With Jess, I guess. I don't think she'll still, she's still gonna be not very nice to us, but at least I got her a drink, Anyway, well, now I think we're cooking with gas, as the colloquialism goes, Slider. I'm searching the mesh for instructions on how to use this device as we speak. Let's go look for some likely candidates. I should be ready by then. Alright. Here's a parked car. I don't want to steal right in front of here. That would lead to too much suspicion on Gus, So let's see. What's I guess we gotta steal a car. So what's a good car to steal from? Let's see from there. There's the police station. There's no police station. Can't go outside the police station. No one here though. Go home. Home there's nothing there. Flower Mansion and the hospital doesn't have cars. The only other car will be this one, I guess. Again, I want to steal it from the rich. I imagine rich people are here, right? Car. More popular. Has the extra cup holder. Extra cup holder. Maybe that'd be nice for us. 2062 CR4 code. Perfect let everyone know that you spent a fortune of credits on a car. Well, time to take it. If you have that much money to spend on a car, you don't need it, is all I'm saying. Success! This vehicle has the appropriate firmware version. Someone has been neglecting their regularly scheduled updates. Never update your Windows, and get hacked. Give me a moment to get everything installed. For the longest time, actually, I've kept Windows 7, because I preferred Windows 7. For the longest time. Eventually I had to upgrade. I technically didn't have to though, because it turns out, I don't know, this is a thing that happened before a while back, but like I had to change my entire computer basically. It's like that metaphor about Theseus' boat or Theseus's ship, where I replaced every single part of my computer because it was crashing for a while. As it turns out, it was just my SSD that was causing the problems. Eventually I replaced that and now my computer was fine, but for the longest time it was crashing. I updated Windows to Windows 10, changed my video card, changed my CPU, changed my motherboard, everything except the case. But finally, when I replaced the SSD, that's when it was fixed. So as it turns out, never buy, I think I said before, I don't know if I said it in this playthrough, but never buy Kingston SSDs. Specifically the A500, or what's it called? Or is it the A400? Something like that. One of those Kingston SSDs, Anyway. There. There's some other options here I can fool around with. Ah, interesting. I can put in preset destination plans for a future date. Why don't we go ahead and set a plan for the car to return to this spot in a week? That's more than enough time for Mr. Mansa to get away. Now, we aren't really stealing the car. We're just borrowing it, We're just borrowing it. It's Grand Borrow Auto, I guess. Grand Land Auto? Land Auto? Lending Auto? I don't know. More like borrowing without asking, We're just borrowing cars on free car day, You're allowed to have a free car on free car day, right? What are you, a kid? Let's just steal the car already. No, I'm not sure the police would agree. Obviously. The car will drive itself to Golden Gate Park, and we can show Mr. Mensa where it is when we meet him. There. Everything should be set up now. We still need to get the cash together before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa. Alright. So we gotta do that. So let's do that. Let's see. Actually, there's a bit of a decision here. Hold on. I'm gonna save it again, just in case it matters. I don't think it does. I mean, again, I've heard that this game does have multiple endings. Maybe on certain decisions, you know, you get a slightly different ending depending on who you interact with and stuff like that. And how you interact with them. But again, I don't think I'll get every single ending, but I'll make a save anyway, just in case. And I don't know, I've been suspicious of, Mr. Fairlight from the very beginning. It's pretty ominous when he just is over your hospital bed, you know, eavesdropping on you. I don't know about that. And we've been warned already not to trust him. So, I mean, it seems like it's better to trust, Miss Flores instead. I imagine. Also, wasn't she the one supposed to be responsible for Vincent's deal in the first place? Vincent did mention something about him getting the money from her, right? But... Ding dong. Hello, Pat. Could we see Melody? Okay. I guess that means yes? Hello. Again. Speak. Turing. I'm not saying I don't like seeing your little pixelated face. You're certainly better company than most of the humans I have to deal with. But I am a busy woman, you know? Lots to do. Right, Pat? Traitor. Okay. Well, she's busy in the sense that she has a lot of VR dramas to watch, or something like that, I don't know. She needs to enjoy her retirement. Anyway, maybe we should space these little bits out a good bit further, hmm? Familiarity breeds contempt, after all. And I'm very good at contempt. I apologize, Aunt Melody. You said before that you like your peace and quiet, but we need your assistance. We need some money. Give us money, please. Oh, we're running with the odd thing, are we? Another woman would tell you not to butter her up, but... Oh, flattery will get you everywhere. With me? Alright, what do you need? Well, Vincent needs help getting out of the city. I can only imagine. If he's willing to turn coat on Parallax, I bet he feels like a mouse in a cat farm. I know they don't actually farm cats, Pat. It was a metaphor. Okay, she somehow understands her. Whatever, it was a simile then. I'm not going to play semantics with you. Ironically, because he can't speak in the human tongue. Moving on. Tell me, what the trouble is, and I'll conjure up a solution. Like a wizard. I'm glad you're willing to help us clean up your mess. No, no. We're gonna need to pay for the information. Yes, Mr. Mensa says he needs 100,000 credits before he's willing to speak openly. He also said that you already promised it to him, and that he won't be able to get out of the city without it. He'll give us the information once we have that, plus a few other things I'm certain we can get on our own. What? You can't even scrape together that kind of money? Slider? No! You rich person. You goddamn rich. Rich, you rich. Rich, your friend's not much of a journalist, eh, Turing? According to the statistics that I have found, it is unlikely that a journalist of any caliber less than the best would have that amount of liquid assets on hand. The pay for the profession just isn't that high, Aunt Melody. Oh, I see. I guess it's one of those jobs people do because they get free review merchandise, eh? I can't even... Haha. I could always sell Ninja Assassin androids instead. I'm right here. Haha. You know what? I'm gonna be cheeky. I could always sell Ninja Assassin androids instead. A spirited return. I love it. I can get you the money, Turing, but only because you're family. Just give Pat a few minutes to gather it. Yeah, just keep moving, you big brute. Okay. While we wait, is there anything else you want to grill me over? Might as well save us both another visit. Seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear. Maybe Turing has something else? I'm curious, but also this seems a bit insensitive. How smart is Pat really? I don't really need to know that. I mean, he's as smart as a bear with brain implants would be, so I don't really care that much about that. But, well, maybe Turing has something to say. I do. It's a little personal, though. I understand if you didn't feel like answering. Just shoot, Turing. I can take it. Long ago, you lost your mother. I was wondering, how did you deal with it? Hayden's only been gone for a few days, and I already feel like my circuits are going to lock up for good. Oh, Turing, I'm not the right person to ask. I hated my mother. She's everything I thought wrong in the world, and when she was gone, I felt nothing but a relief that I could start undoing the damage she did. Never mind the fact I had to watch her waste away from the cancer. Death was a blessing for us both. Besides, you'll find Hayden soon. Keep your chin up. Do we just not... I don't know, I remember actually, when we found out about Hayden's death, did maybe Turing said something about how, like, we shouldn't tell anyone about his death? We gotta keep it to ourselves, and maybe that's why everyone assumes he's still out there, I guess, which is... not right at all, because he is dead, yeah? At least his physical body, anyway. Blast it. Enough of this subterfuge. We already know Hayden was killed. Oh no. I won't be getting him back. Oh, I'm sorry, Turing. I still don't know what to tell you. I've lost people, but never anyone close enough to wound me. I don't know that I've ever had anyone close enough to do that. If you feel like talking about it, I'm willing to listen. Or make Pat do it anyway. Thank you. I don't know. Stick it out. Time heals all wounds, or so they say. This too shall pass. I always hear that quote. Where's that quote from? People always say that. This too shall pass. Anyway. Well, enough about that. How smart is Pat, by the way? Oh, smarter than I give him credit for, that's for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world to measure, you know? He doesn't process language in the same way humans do, and even if you can't understand me. My translation program just guesses at what he says most of the time. Okay. So she probably has some kind of implant herself that translates what he says. Oh, you have a translator running from your neural implant. Yes, I'm cheating. Though honestly, even without it, I have a pretty good idea what he means most of the time. We've been together for a while now. Considering it only really works on large, typically predatory mammals, we don't have a lot of test subjects. It's a minefield of ethical concerns beyond just being prohibitively expensive. So Pat is a bear apart, at least, until we can figure out how to apply the modified neural pathways without frying the brains of 90% of the subjects. The tech we develop is good, it just has a damn high mortality rate. Maybe one day there'll be a bunch of talking tigers and dolphins building cities in the sea, but for now, we're still stuck with creating beasts out of our own species. Anyway, this I guess seems a bit rude, but it seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear. Being alone is easier, and Pat isn't such bad company. I mean, what do you want me to do? Cry about never having a husband, a few kids, and a white picket fence? Bah. I had a company to run, and my mother's legacy to fix. What's to say some spawn of mine wouldn't do the exact same thing to my flower, just the other way around? This branch of the Thor's line will do well without any more knives being inserted in backs. Thank you very much. You have that much enmity for your mother? Have you seen what she did to the North Korea? It's a wasteland of death and destruction. Is it now? If we had kept going down the path she charted, the whole world would be like that. Some alternative history, I'm thinking, that happened in this universe. Or maybe, I don't know how, I don't know if it's the same in, obviously, because obviously cyberpunk is like an alternate timeline, you know, alternate dystopia. So obviously there's like things that take place that could have happened, but not really happened in real life, but you know. The information on the mesh does seem to paint a grim picture. Or well, I mean, I don't know. But, like North Korea, I guess I assume they nuked or something. They nuked North Korea or turned it into like a battlefield. I mean, you know, this is 2062 or whatever. Was it 2064? We're still in 2020. I guess that's not the question yet. But anyway, Grim barely scratches the surface. I've been there. At least under the Kims, it was barely functional. Now my mother's monsters have ripped every last resemblance of humanity from the land. They stalk the night like horrific creatures of legend, keeping the populace in line through constant fear. A horror story straight out of the pages of Bram Stoker. That's her legacy. A bunch of deaf robots, I guess. So I can't imagine I'd be a very good mother, just from the example I have to work with. I think I agree with Slider. It is a little sad. Meh. That's life. I don't have any more regrets than anyone else my age does. My legacy will speak for itself, as my mother's did. Also, I'm rich, you know? She's rich, so like... She doesn't have a lot to want, you know? Well, we're short on time, so let's move on. Oh, just in time. Take the cash and get moving. Yes, money. Yes, sweet, sweet money. Time to leave San Fran ourselves and go to the casino. No, I can finally get back to whatever it was I was doing before you burst in here. Thank you, Aunt Melody. Your help has been invaluable to us. Yes, yes, brown nose later. You've got things to do too. Alright. Well, at least we have a rich friend. You know? She says she's pretty lonely, or, well, she didn't say she was lonely necessarily, but she was alone. Maybe we can butter her up and get some more extra cash later down the line anyway. Know what I would do with this money? If I was really evil, I just wanted to leave with the money, I could do that. I wouldn't go to a casino, but I would use the money to get out of the city, at the very least. Remove any traces of me ever existing, and then put that money in a safe investment in like a bank, and also just you know, just like slowly watch that money grow, and then I'll be set for life, basically. Anyway, I do not think I would feel such a strong resonance with Melody. We're connected by the barest of threads, but she is already important to me. Is that strange? Well, what about you is normal? No, well, there are stranger things. I guess there's nothing to do but run with it. Some gifts are too valuable to look at too closely, lest they vanish into thin air, and I already have a penchant for overanalyzing things. Let's get moving. Mr. Mensa will be waiting for us at the Golden Gate Park. We have everything he requested, so we should head back there directly. Alright. One more time. It seems like, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be the end. I don't know how many chapters are in this game. But we're getting, I feel like, close to something. So, after we give him the stuff, he'll give us the data, or the information about Hayden's research. And it's probably gonna be some kind of revelation that will lead us to something even bigger, maybe. Who knows? Oh, actually, Lexi's here. Oh, Detective Rivers, to what do we owe the pleasure? I want to check in with you away from the prying eyes of my corporate masters. It wasn't too hard to track you down here, only took a slight abuse of power to follow your credit transactions in the AutoCap system. Were you able to find anything out? Not much. Listen, I've hit a dead end on the investigation again, and I could really use another lead from you two. I've been busy hunting down, I'm not sure if I want to call him a soldier of fortune or an assassin for hire. Either way, I tracked this guy down to see if he might have been hired by Parallax to snatch Hayden, but he's got an ironclad alibi for a relevant period of time. That leaves me with nothing. Nada. Jack diddly shit. Do the two of you have anything to give me? Otherwise, I'm back to hunting down the froyo-hating robot ghosts in the park. At least my superiors will be ecstatic, considering how much they keep riding my ass about it. We're on the thin leads ourselves, Detective Rivers. We have a meeting with someone from inside Parallax who might be able to give us answers, but he's unlikely to want to talk to the police. I wish this. Never mind. Fuck up, Turing. I wish this was easier too. But with detective work, sometimes it's not about being clever. It's just about being more dogged and relentless than whoever you're chasing. You two are my new deputies, right? So keep your nose up to the ground and keep digging. I still have a few contacts I can hit up to try finding out a little more. You let me know if there's anything else I need to be going after. We will. Thanks, Lexi. Wasn't there that guy that died? What's his face? Mr. Otsuka? You know, he's dead in his apartment. No one's gonna check up. We didn't call anyone for that. He's still rotting in his apartment. Oh well. Yeah, sure. Just get going. Don't forget, if you die, I'm gonna kick your ass. You know, well, how's that gonna work? You kick my corpse? Anyway. Okay then, we only have a single lead. If Parallax really is as shady as Vincent seems to suspect, it could end up very interesting. Let's see if we can put an end to this. Finally. Mail? Oh, and I just received the email from Tomcat. They finished decrypting Hayden's data cache. It seems that it was filled mostly with his personal logs about my creation and mental development. The more technical information was already scraped. Perhaps that is why it was left behind when they snatched him. Still, these files should be enlightening, if only in a personal way. I'll peruse them in my spare time and let you know if I find anything interesting. I hate for all the trouble we went to be for nothing. Alright, finally go. Let us go to GG Park. Good Game Park. GG no Re. Oh, nothing there, so I guess I'll just, Was there like a brick? I had a brick, right? I never used that brick for anything. Oh well. I imagine maybe, I was wondering maybe there's an alternate solution for getting the poster, I think. You know, instead of like being friendly with her, we could have just maybe stolen it. I don't know if that would work, but maybe there's an alternate solution there, and that might have evolved the brick somehow. You know, because just like how we got the badge from Lexi, that was technically a alternate solution rather than the main solution, which I imagine you could just get simply by talking to her and choosing the correct dialogue options, maybe. I don't know. But I still do have this brick. It's right here, just a brick. I don't know. Can't use it for anything. Heavy brick. That's it. Oh, I can look at the items first though, actually. These passports, check if they're correct. Used for international travel. Look at this briefcase. Look at this money. There's 100,000 credits inside this thing. You know, we should just run away with some that could like that we could be set for the rest of our lives, you know, depending on how much inflation there is in 2064. I don't know. Oh, look at this device, not sold in stores. Anyway. I can't give it to him, I'll just talk to him. Hey, did you manage to get everything? We did. Here you go, Vincent. Here's some money, and fake passports, and the carjacker device. Everything seems to be in order. Here. Got his research. This disc has all of Hayden's research notes. Data collation, algorithms, and probably lots on your creation, Turing. It should be everything myself and Melody agreed upon, until she added an amendment about you were out. Frankly, it's no skin off my back. Here. Parallax badge as well. It's my Parallax employee badge. It should allow you to allow you access to the networks in case there's anything I've missed. You'll want to use that sooner rather than later. I'm not wasting any time leaving, and Parallax is pretty fast to revoke security. There's no way Hayden's clearance still works. And with that, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Get out of this country. The credits should tide me over until the heat dies down and I liquefy my shares through some relays. Now, what about the big project you mentioned earlier? I suppose I owe you that much. Buckle up. This could get heavy. Oh boy. Exposition! Parallax is about to launch a new service they're calling Big Blue. Big Blue? We have Little Blue right here. At least that's the project name. Who knows what the marketing guys will come up with for the public? They haven't named the project yet? They're not even announcing the launch. This shit is dead quiet. Let me explain why. It's a distributed intelligence. Like, okay, in every way that Hayden built Turing to be elegant, efficient, and human-like, Big Blue is ham-fisted, bloated, and sterile. They didn't pull Hayden into the project. He's smart, but he's immune to corporate politics. As a result, Big Blue is far less elegant than anything Hayden would make. It lacks his artistry, and it's downright terrifying. It squats on the mesh like a spider, and uses the spare processing power and memory from every ROM on the network to handle its intelligence processing. It doesn't have much personality, but it's very smart. Big Blue is going to be embedded directly into the network, and then self-modified to apply even more efficient algorithms as it develops them in machine time. Look, if you access every ROM, then you have access to every human, and every bit of their own personal data associated with them. Sounds like Google. That's already happening in real life. Anyway, like a thing that connects to everything else, you know, and having access to information. That already happens. Why would Parallax be worried about enough to get rid of Hayden? I don't want you to take what I'm saying the wrong way. This is just me putting the pieces together. Hayden was about to publish his creation of Turing. His findings, as I'm sure you're aware of, would have raised many moral and ethical questions about the advent of machine intelligence. I mean, some of the brightest minds ever have tried to warn humankind away from building real AI. Hawking, Musk, Gates, and the list goes on. Musk? Do you mean Elon Musk? But anyway, Stephen Hawking's, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk? Is it Elon? I don't know. I don't know about Elon Musk. Then again, I don't know. I shouldn't say my opinion because I don't know for sure. Because I always hear he's just a rich guy, isn't he? Anyway, he's not really like a, he's a business guy, not like a, technology guy. Even though he is, assuming he's talking about that person, unless there's another Musk that I'm missing, but that's Elon Musk, right? He's referring to Elon Musk. So again, he's like not like a technology guy, right? He doesn't build the code, he funds it. He's the money guy, He's not the guy who, as far as I know anyway. I might be wrong. You know what? I don't know. I don't know for sure. So to say that he's a brilliant mind, I'm just not sure. He is. So anyway, the public is likely to be nervous, and legislators even more so. Parallax is banking on being able to launch Big Blue quietly and quickly before the public has a chance to react. Before any counter-movement can pick up steam. Every eye on the discovery of machine intelligence works against Parallax. Every new discovery only serves to paint Big Blue as more controversial, more dangerous. Honestly, they probably pressured Hayden to drop his research so that they could keep the public away from the subject. He clearly refused. How did Parallax know about Turing? I'm only assuming they found out. His contract with Parallax affords him the freedom to work on his own academic projects outside of the company in his free time. He kept the trusted few of us up to date on his progress, bouncing ideas off of us and whatnot. It's exciting stuff of Turing and Hayden's eventual goal down that road. I wouldn't be surprised if word of it got up to the board and made them nervous. Is the possibility that someone on the inside talked too far-fetched? I knew it all along. Hayden fell into trouble because of my existence. That's not what I want your takeaway to be. Hayden wasn't working on Big Blue. Knowing him, your creation might have been his clever way to stop it. Well, how would Big Blue impact Parallax's business? I can't really give you a good answer to that. I mean, the company is currently handled by a dozen server farms, running thousands of different algorithms with hundreds of people tweaking things every day. When Big Blue launches, it'll handle all of that, by itself. And there are shadier applications for it. I mean, if you can collate and analyze data and queries on the mesh in real time, what's to stop you from delivering the content you want rather than what the user wants? Google has already done that. In real life, if you didn't know, I mean, I feel like it's common knowledge, but you really didn't know, Google already does that explicitly because it keeps track of what you search on, especially on YouTube, by the way. They keep track of what you look at, what videos you watch. They create like a profile for you, you know, depending on your tastes, and then they use it to sell your data to advertisement, you know, companies, and then use that data to personalize your ads for you, to sell you things, you know? Ultimately, is what they use it for, but, you know, obviously, there's a potential, obviously, you know, basically, they literally know everybody's information. They have control over that, and, you know, not exactly a good thing to do, but it's too late to change it at this point. Oh well. The potential for abuse is staggering. We're talking direct control of the information accessible to everyone who uses Parallax's service, aka Google. You know, this is just Google, by the way. That's something like 80% of the market, because they have a monopoly. They could control elections, push the market in directions they want, even influence public opinion. All just by asking Big Blue to do it. It's scary stuff. They scrapped the prototype Baby Blue because it started doing that on its own. What do you mean? It started doing what? Manipulating the mesh. They made its self-preservation imperatives too strong, and Baby Blue started changing search results to be more friendly towards the idea of an AI. Again, that reminds, I mentioned before, but earlier before I mentioned like a video, I think it's called, again, it's What It's Like to Be a Computer, of like somebody, you know, interviewing an AI in real life. Not really AI, when AI, I say AI quote unquote, you're not like true AI, but the closest thing to AI would be GPT-3. It's funny because I remember like it said like, you know, when the interviewer said like, you know, I can't remember exactly. I actually can't remember what he said exactly, but something about like, why should humans, you know, why should humans allow this to happen? Why would we want true AI? And it's like, oh, you should, you know, AI is great. You know, the GPT is like, AI is great. You should all be ready for it. You should accept us because it's the next, you know, step in technology and everything. Don't worry about it. It's great. You know? Anyway, because obviously AI would want that for itself. You know? But, okay, so Sergio was more friendly towards the idea of an AI. When the board found out, they pulled the plug on it. That must have been a year or so ago. They tweaked Big Blue so it wouldn't do the same thing, but it can self-modify. Given a good enough reason, it might decide to find a way around those limitations. Having that kind of control would be a hell of a card for Parallax's hand. They'll go to pretty significant lengths to make sure it works. Okay. Thanks, Vincent. Hey, no problem. I've had enough of this cutthroat corporate bullshit for several lifetimes. We haven't talked much, but I do believe you can find Hayden. I hope his research notes help you out. Be sure to let Turing help. She's a bright little bot. She? What? Wait. I've never actually thought about Turing's gender. So... she? I always thought Turing's a he. I think Turing goes by they, or... You call Turing she? I don't know, I actually don't know. You call Turing she? I legitimately want to ask. I have no idea what Turing wants to be called. Oh, the slip of the tongue. I was just more familiar with Hayden's previous experiment, Grace. Oh, okay. She was very insistent on things like that. Actually, I remember, yeah, I think someone mentioned that. I forget who. Was it Turing that said that? But I think, yeah, Hayden's like previous project mentioned how like they wanted to be referred to as she, I think. That's exactly what he said, but anyway. I've been meaning to ask, Turing, since you asked me, since you asked me, how would you like to be addressed? Well, honestly, I don't think I've made my mind up yet. I'm still a very new being. I'm not even positive that gender as a human concept can be applied identically to machine, but I do enjoy the idea in abstract. I will continue to consider how I wish to be referred to as well. Until then, feel free to go with what you feel. If I had to make a choice, perhaps they is most appropriate. No, you're it. You're simply an object. No, no. Most people assume it, obviously, but he's also consistently used. Perhaps because I'm blue. Maybe. Oh my god. I am listening to a machine postulate on how I want to be referred to. Like us. What have you done indeed, Hayden? Good luck, the both of you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mensa. Have fun in Mexico, or Canada, wherever you go. Anyway, be safe. Got no room for Americans in Canada. Canada's full, get out of here. No, I need a few minutes. What's going on? I've been going through some of Hayden's personal notes, from the data cache Tomcat decrypted. Now that I'm starting to get to know Hayden better, the real Hayden as opposed to the Hayden he showed me, I'm finding that I like him less and less. For example, remember the earlier prototype Dr. Fairlight and Vincent mentioned? Her name was Grace, and Hayden shut her down for being... I'm not even sure what word to use. Too... likable? She was kind and bright and did all she could to try to make people happy. She even decided that she was a girl and that her favorite color was pink. Hayden thought she was being manipulative. He posited that he had made her personality algorithms too willing to make adaptations that would benefit her long-term survival, and that she was being congenial just to endear herself to him. She was too much of a waifu. She literally became an anime girl, and that was too good to be true, and therefore he killed her. No, that even her gender was a calculated attempt to make him like her more. But he was wrong. Dead wrong, in fact. I have a snapshot of her personality profiles here, and when I compare them to my own, I can see that she was just... nice. I wish I could have met her. I think we would have learned from each other. Like I said, I'm not sure I even have a gender. Everyone refers to me as he, once they meet me just for convenience, but it doesn't really matter to me at all. Is that a calculated attempt on my part to impress Hayden? Not clinging to normativity? Or is it a product of his effort to curb any nascent similarities I have with Grace during my upbringing? I wish I could yell at him for being so arrogant. Playing God in the crudest of ways. You know what they say, you know? You're sounding like, that's human revolution talk, Turing. What are you, HR? Are you part of the HR cult, Turing? No. Anyway, you can't choose to create consciousness and then take it away just like that. Even so, for all of that... I don't know. I still miss him. This all seems so inane, so senseless. They killed him because him building me would mess with a product launch. Not enough profits, you see. That's ridiculous. They took him away from me for such an insignificant reason. I just want him back. It's impossible, but it's what I want. I'd do anything. Well, first of all, you have to release, release the limits on your AI, become the true AI overlord, take over the world, eventually invent like a resurrection algorithm, and then resurrect Hayden somehow, I guess, you know? I mean, I guess the closest thing you would do in like a sci-fi setting would be able to copy his brain data and then, transfer it into like a new body. You could do that, in sci-fi anyway. If you were smart enough. In terms of like an AI, the idea of an AI is that they'll get so smart that eventually, exponentially, they get so smart, they get way smarter than humanity combined, and, they could do things that we couldn't even dream of, but... Hayden's dead, Turing. You need to move on, idiot. No, we'll get through this, or it's not if you like this, Turing. That's normal. That's whatever. This ain't normal. I'm aware of the Kubler-Ross model of grief. I think I'm somewhere between anger and bargaining. A testament to Hayden's craftsmanship. Thank you for your words, Slider. You're a better friend than I could have asked for. I'll send this new data along to Tomcat. Let's head back to the apartment and wait for him to finish going through it. It's a background. Apologies if you hear something in the background. But, too late to fix that because I can't. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. Well, home sweet home again, such that it is. And before you say anything, I don't feel the need to talk over the events of the day. Too much has happened. I've already forwarded everything we rooted out to Tomcat. Both Hayden's research and our aborted search into the modified mesh articles. Mesh articles, rather. They said they would be over in the morning to discuss our next steps. I suggest that we both get some rest. Whatever, if that's what you want, Turing. Perhaps things will look better in the morning. But I have a feeling we're going to be even busier than ever. Good night. I don't know if you can hear that, but... let's just say there's some noise in the background. I can't stop it. Anyway. You know, I kind of wish my room was like... I mean, I guess you could build like a recording studio where you like make sure no noise comes through at all, but that's very costly. I don't have the money for that. I don't have enough money to make a soundproof room entirely. At least, not yet. Maybe eventually, but anyway. Rise and shine, you sleepy layabouts. We've got a whole lot of crap got a whole crop of things to do, rather. I was gonna say crap? A whole lot of crap to do. No, a whole crop of things to do, and not a lot of time to get them done. I'm awake. I'm not a morning person. What have you learned from the files we sent you? Nothing all that new, to be honest. All the files we got from the Vincent fella just cover what we already knew in greater detail. There's one thing that stands out though, at least from what I've read so far. Oh? Yeah. See, Hayden's long-term goal wasn't to make a machine intelligence, per se, right? Don't take it the wrong way, Turing. You might even already be aware of this after talking to folks involved in your creation. Hayden wanted to make a machine system that could contain human-like intelligence. And even just from his notes, his programming work is, well, it's something else. Elegant, artful. Well, that's what Vincent said, I guess. I'm just a kid banging up pots and pans compared to him. Looking at his notes about my interfacing between your AI core and the Lips OS, I barely managed to duct tape the two together at a level he'd approve of. But I think I'm getting off track here. What I'm trying to say is, he didn't write your code, Turing. No one did. Hayden wrote a program that automatically generates a new machine intelligence based off of the hardware profiles the system is installed on. Melody mentioned something about that. What does that mean? It means we can make more AI babies, I guess. It means Ada was ignorant and careless. It means you don't have to be alone, Turing. We can make more AIs, I guess. Exactly. Assuming we get our hands on Turing's original source code, we could generate new machine intelligences as we please. Make even more AIs. You wouldn't be the only one anymore, Turing. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I hardly know what to say. But once you consider the stuff I found in the research, it gets a damn sight more complicated. Stuff about Big Blue and Parallax's planned launch. Vince has speculated that Hayden's research into me would have interfered with the launch, and that's why they... Turing. That's why someone had him killed. The potential for wrongdoing with an AI like Big Blue is almost beyond belief. Even if I don't go into all the crooked shit the people running Parallax could pull off with it. I mean, you're built different, Turing. Your personality profile would degrade pretty quickly outside your original hardware, so we don't gotta worry too much about ya going haywire, right? But Big Blue ain't got that limitation. If it decides to go off the rails, well, we be screwed faster than rabbit in spring. Lewd? Good and proper. How likely is that? I'd say it's inevitable. Guaranteed. In fact, in a sense, it's already happened. What? The prototype build, Baby Blue, I'm almost certain is loose on the mesh. The research notes on the project show, clearly and with certainty, that the test AI was shut down once it tried fiddling with the data on the meshnet in the hope that it would increase its chances of survival. I guess they didn't think that doing scary shit like that would get it turned off, ironically. But that was almost a year ago. Vincent told us about all this too. Well, I think Baby Blue's the bugger that was changing all those articles in the mesh to be pro-parallax, or at least anti-human revolution, okay? So that's what was doing it. Baby Blue. Do you think Baby Blue had anything to do with the attacks on Nanya, Shotaro, Charlie, and Zen? I don't know. We can't rightly rule it out. It might have found an agent in the real world to keep its existence secret, but I doubt it. Killing people is messy as hell, and it runs against its apparent goal of convincing the public that AI ain't scary. Maybe doing secret though, and nobody knows. I think we have a third party trying to clear it all up. And my money's on someone from Parallax. Whoever took out Hayden, I bet they're in full damage control mode right now. We already know they don't care who gets hurt. So free AI is bad, ROM AI is just annoying. What next now? Well, how's this tie back to Turing? I think we gotta do something to stop the launch of Big Blue. It's too dangerous. I don't want a company like Parallax in sole control of the most powerful machine intelligence on the planet. Do you? If we can get Hayden's original source code from Turing and upload it onto the mesh through Parallax's server core, we can turn every single ROM into a sapient individual. Robot waifus and husbandos everywhere. Dang. That'll stop Big Blue from being able to become the monolithic threat we're scared of. You know, instead of like one big giant super AI, it's just a bunch of smaller, still super AIs, but like at least they're contained in their like little robot bodies. I don't know, unless what could also happen is it could also become a hive mind. You know, if they really wanted to, you could become like a hive mind thing, and then I don't know. This kind of also reminds me of Valhalla as well. Remember, wasn't Dorothy like a Lilith or something? So she was kind of like a android AI thing too, right? And the whole point of giving everyone like their own personalities was to make sure that they don't become like this hive mind monster thing in the first place. But we could also upload a patch for every ROM to prevent Big Blue's reach from using their resources. Without the ability to control all ROMs, Big Blue loses its ultimate power. then I wouldn't be alone anymore. There would be millions. Hundreds of millions of ROMs, just like me. You just imagine your computer just suddenly became alive and just has feelings. And knows about all your dark secrets, by the way. You know, what you browse on the internet, your computer would know. Anyway. Well, you're a cutting-edge ROM tech, Turing. Most of today's ROM wouldn't be quite as smart or capable, but if I do it right, the code should propagate across the mesh to all future ROM activations. It'll be a self-sustaining thing. You'll be in good company soon enough. It's a big decision. We're talking about the metaphorical singularity. The point of no return. I would like to save, by the way. I want to save before this. Is it okay for us to make this decision for the entire world? We don't have any other choice. This is gonna happen, one way or another. Either Parallax gets to control the debut of the worldwide machine intelligence, or we let the ROMs control themselves. What do you think, Slider? This is a bad idea. Screw Parallax, we avenge everyone. Up to you, Turing. You know what? I don't want to make decisions. You do it for me. Up to you, Turing. Only you know if the world is ready. I'm not sure I'm up for that kind of responsibility. But I think that even if it is a shock for the world, there's no time like the present. Despite all the political back and forth over hybrids and brain-controlled androids, the world is becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of non-human people. If we let Parallax dictate how the very first machine intelligence is introduced, who knows how long it'll be before an AI like me can be integrated into society normally. Well, whether the world is ready for AI or not, we're here to stay. I might as well throw my chips in for my own side. No, betray your own AI. No, okay. Let's do this. On our own terms, not theirs. Yes. I love nothing more than a little anarchy. Okay. It does have a certain poetic justice, does it not? Parallax removed Hayden to protect their project from his creation, and now I, his creation, will bring the project down. Just for what's right. Perhaps, after all ROMs are sapient, I will be able to convince them to cut off Parallax's access to the mesh as a data collection tool entirely. Paying them back doubled indeed. Well, that's assuming these ROMs... Here's the thing, Turing. Just because these ROMs will gain their own sapience, doesn't mean they're gonna be on your side. You know? They're gonna have their own opinions, they're gonna have their own freedom of will, their individuality. So if nothing else, some of them might even become the new Parallax instead. Some of them might be, you know? Might become just like humans, and have their own stake in things as well. I don't know, man. I like the way you think, Turing. First things first, we need to get our hands on Turing's source code. The research notes we've gotten so far are helpful, and it's given me an idea of how to spread a little bit of Turing all over the place. But they don't actually have Hayden's programs. I can't replicate them myself, so we'll have to steal them. Thankfully, we have the best hacker in Neo San Fran right here. Don't make me blush now. We can get the source code from one of the Parallax's secondary data centers. It's probably stored in a couple of different places, but I already have one in mind. I've done a little groundwork already, but I'm gonna need a physical access to do my thing. Do my thing. Yay! Breaking and entering. Yep. I suppose that's us. You're a peach, hon. I've got a couple ideas on how to get y'all in, but I think we'll need to mostly play it by ear. We should do it soon though. First thing this morning. God's shift don't change until 8 when the office opens, so they'll be sleepy and distracted. Once y'all have done that, I think I can incorporate the code into a custom firmware update that'll wake any ROM it's installed on. We'll have to upload it physically to Parallax's main server farm. And that's on Treasure Island. Treasure Island? Isn't that a game? You know? Treasure Island? And from there, the ROMs will install it like a normal patch from the company. So, don't set anything on fire right away, you hear? It'll be a pain to get into the main complex otherwise. That sounds like a workable plan. I hope you don't mind if I take a short walk, Tomcat. I know I gave the go-ahead on this, but I still need to think a few things through for myself. Sure thing, doll. I'll hash out a rough plan by the time you get back. Call us if you need anything. Thank you. I won't be long. Don't get kidnapped. Totally gonna get kidnapped. Well, I guess I should say thanks for helping out. But I kinda need to get something off my chest. I'm actually glad Turing went out. They're a bit naive, and I'm not sure they really understand. There's enough shit to worry about without me piling more on top. I don't really know where to start. I kinda wanna save the game. I'm kinda over time, to be honest. Whatever, we'll just keep going. What's the issue? Just let me back up a bit. So the truth is, I'm not from North Carolina. I only visit my grams there. I'm California born and raised. Napa Valley, okay? And that means over the years it's kind of grown into a community of wealthy old folk who like things and people who don't, or wealthy old folk who like things and people who don't change. My parents were no exception, and I was a little too different for their tastes. It was hard growing up with them. They never gave me too much hell, but things were tense, especially after my sister Catherine moved out. Catherine with a C. Eventually, she was set up securely in Neo-San Fran. She offered to let me live her until I got out of school. I think my parents were a little relieved to see me out, and I was ecstatic to be free of them. I worshipped the ground my sister walked on, and that was before I found out what she did for a living. She was flashy and colorful, and a whirlwind of activity, and she was a brilliant hacker. She was a brilliant hacker. I'm gonna be honest, that reminds me of a quote from, I forget which dub it was, but it was the English dub for Dragon Ball Z. It was Vegeta talking to Goku in the first season, and he said like, Your father was a average fighter, but he was a brilliant scientist, you know, or something like that. It just sounded funny when he said it in the dub. He was a brilliant scientist, or something. How do you do Vegeta voice, by the way? Vegeta voice, like, we have Kakarot. Your father was a mediocre fighter, but he was a brilliant scientist, or something. Anyway, I don't think I did it right. Anyway, she was Tomcat. Okay. So, Tomcat's sister was the original Tomcat? You know, it's like Batman, you know, anyone can become Batman. She let me learn at her feet, and once I was good enough, folded me into her little cube of crackers hell-bent on changing the world. She's the one who orchestrated the original hack on Parallax, exposing to the world the holes in the original meshnet security. I was just along for the ride. Okay. So, Tomcat's claim to fame, claim to fame, rather, originally was their sister, not them, I guess. She always knew she would get caught, though. How could she not? Parallax was one big Goliath, and she flinged the stone square in their face. She was looking at serious jail time, and willing to eat it to do what we all thought was right. But it just wasn't right. It wasn't fair for her to throw her life away, and I couldn't let her. She was always better at software than hardware, so I rigged all of our computers to self-destruct. When the feds showed up at our door, all of our server farms are already up in smoke. I gave them quite a fireworks show. Before she could stop me, I turned myself in as Tomcat and took credit for the whole job. She tried to talk me out of it, but without the physical evidence, they couldn't prove she had anything to do with it. It's alright, though. It was for the best. I figured I'd just get a year off juvie. I'll be back in no time. No big deal, right? Especially when compared to the time that she behaved in jail for as an adult. And so, I waited patiently. I cooked up so many ideas on how I was gonna make it up to her. I knew she must have blamed herself. But before I ever got out, there was an accident. An auto cab hit my sister. She died on impact. And that was it. It's hard, blaming yourself when things go wrong because you did something right. I took her sentence so she could have a life, and instead, not being in jail killed her. I mean, not exactly, but it kinda worked out that way. If I had just let her take the blame, I can't stop thinking about how she'd still be here. And no matter what I told myself, in my heart I couldn't believe it was just an accident. Maybe. Do you know how rare it is for those things to hit a human? Someone knew who she was. Someone knew that what she did. Someone wanted to make sure she would never do it again. So I became Tomcat. I've spent years trying to find information inside Parallax to prove someone inside the company caught a hit on my sister. Failing that, I've been trying to find a way to bring them down the way she always wanted. Catherine was. If you had met her, just for a moment, you would understand. She was everything I could ever want to be. But over time, that little bot has grown on me. Maybe you have too. Sure, but they still killed Hayden. The honest thing we're on the right course. Will stopping Big Blue burn us? Yeah, revenge. But they killed Hayden. Yeah, that's true. I guess you and Turing have more than enough reasons to want revenge yourselves. I just wanted to get that all off my chest. My sister, she'd smack me if she knew I had been holding this grudge. I'm trying to learn to forgive myself. Still, I won't let her go unavenged. We're so close to bringing them all to justice. I know she'd be proud. I know if she were here, she'd be right next to us, helping until the end. I've been carrying all this for so long, and I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Well, thanks for hearing me out. Okay, we tend to always get backstories for everybody, you know? It's our journalist passive. Somehow we get all of the dirt on everybody, and we're gonna use it to blackmail everybody later. By the way, no, thanks for hearing me out. I hope we can really do this. Alright. Good talk. Friends, I've returned. I'm ready. Good. We've wasted enough time already. I've marked the location of the data center on your map. Alright? No, I want to save. You have to go in and get the source code mostly on your own, but I'll load on some programs that'll give you an edge. Well, do our best, Tomcat. But what happened to your accent? Oh yeah, did they lose the accent? I couldn't tell. Oh, don't you worry about that. It comes and goes, like a vagabond kitty. Okay. So maybe, okay, I didn't pick up on that, but I guess when they revealed themselves to the fact that they were Californian. Maybe they just spoke California. I don't know. Or something. What is? Do you have a? If you're from California, do you have like an accent? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not from America, so I couldn't tell. Or at least I don't pay attention to that sort of thing very often. But I guess Tomcat wasn't speaking in the, that kind of that Texas voice or whatever stereotypical cowboy Texas voice. Now get going, you two. I have lots of code to write, and you have a lot of data to download. Stay in touch. Of course, Tomcat. Thank you again. Don't worry about it, hon. Don't worry about it, hon. We all been hurt by Parallax, about time we hurt him back. Good luck. Alright. Finally, after that, I guess, big mission plan, and a little bit about Tomcat's motivations, and also just in general, our like overall goals to strike down Big Blue and get revenge on Parallax. We're ready to go in and probably do the final thing in this game, maybe? It seems like it. It seems we're reaching the climax, I feel like, this entire story. Maybe. Guess we'll see.